In today's khutbah, I would like to begin with a story which is narrated by Bukhari and Muslim in their Sahih. This is actually a story from Miqdad, the famous companion of the Prophet. And he, in his conversation with the Prophet of Islam, raises a hypothetical situation. And he says, Ya Rasulullah, أرأيت إن لقيت رجلا من الكفار فاقتتلنا. He puts a scenario, hypothetical situation where he says, "O the Messenger of Allah, what do you think about it? That in the battlefield I confront a opponent, a kafir, فاقتتلنا, and we fight against one another. فضرب إحدى يدي بالسيف فقطعها. And in that combat between me and him, he is able to use his sword to strike on my arm, and he cuts it. But then he says, we continue the fight until I am about to overcome him, although I am injured severely. ثم لاظ مني بشجرة. But then he goes behind the tree or over, to run away from me. And when I'm about to, hit him, فقال أسلمت لله. When I'm about to hit him, this fellow says, I believe in Allah. Then Miqdad says, أأقتله يا رسول الله بعد أن قالها. Now the mas'ala comes in after this story. He says, Ya Rasulullah, do I kill him? Because I know he is not sincere in what he is saying. He's already cut my, one arm. Now that I'm about to overcome him, he says, Aslamtu lillah. Do I kill him or not? What is the response? And this is from Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. The Prophet says, La taqtuluhu. Miqdad, in this situation, you should not kill him. فَإِن قَتَلْتَهُ. And if you kill him, فَإِنَّهُ بِمَنْزَلِتِكَ قَبْلَ أَن تَقْتُلُهُ وَإِنَّكَ بِمَنْزِلَتِهِ قَبْلَ أَن يَقُولُ كَلِمَتُهُ الَّتِي قَالَ. Just think about it. He says, if you kill him, then he will be in your position, which you had before killing him. What was the position and status of Miqdad? He is considered to be, in the words of the Prophet, somebody who was on the 8th level of Iman, where he says there are 10 levels of Iman. On the Salman is on the 10th, Abu Dhar is on the 9th, Miqdad is on the 8th. So he's on that level of Iman. That is his manzila. There is a hadith from the Prophet where he says that, the Jannah is waiting to welcome certain individuals, and he names them, and one of them is Miqdad. That is his manzila. But the Prophet says, if you kill him, your position that I have described about you, that will go to him. And your position will become like his position before he said those words. And what was his position of this fellow? He was not only a kafir, he was a kafir harbi, a non-Muslim who is combatant fighting against Islam. And so, just think about it. And this is there. And I would like to emphasize, this is from Sahih Bukhari and Sahih Muslim. But what do we see? When we look at this conversation, this scenario presented by Miqdad, when we read this and many similar ahadith, this is where we see the disconnect between the ideal preached by Islam and the practice on the ground in the Muslim world at the moment. There is total disconnect there. What Islam says is one thing, what the Muslims are doing now is something else. You know, look at this situation in Pakistan at the moment, with the Shia, killings going on. First the Wahhabi militants used to target Shia masajid and Friday prayers, or their Husainiyah, or their processions. But once the community became vigilant and they have security now, it's not easy to penetrate those areas. So these Wahhabi, militants have now found a new method. And we saw this from last year in September, where the new method is that they go around stopping the buses which takes passengers from one city to another. And then they will, ask the passengers to go down and check their ID cards. And if the names sound like a name of a Shia, they are separated from the rest. And then they are shot. This happened in September for the first time in Balochistan, but it seems that this method has now become their new method of targeting and killing Shias. Just in this year, and we are still not in the middle of April, January, February, March, today is 13th of April. Look at the numbers. These kinds of killings, in January there were 58 people who were killed. In February, 71 Shias were killed in this way. In March, 30 Shias were killed. In April, till the 10th of this month, more than 100 people have been killed, where they stopped the whole caravan of bus in the Gilgit northern areas of Pakistan. And what was their crime? This is going on everywhere from Balochistan to Sindh to Punjab, all different areas. And what is their crime? They say Aliyun Waliullah. Well, if they say Aliyun Waliullah, it's not only they who say it. Even Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in Surah number 5, ayat 55, confirms this issue when He says, إِنَّمَا وَلِيُّكُمُ اللَّهُ وَرَسُولُهُ وَالَّذِينَ آمَنُوا الَّذِينَ يُقِيمُونَ الصَّلَاةَ وَيُؤْتُونَ الزَّكَاةَ وَهُمْ رَاكِعُونَ. Go and look at Imam Fakhruddin Razi. Look at other mufassirin of the Quran under this ayat, and they will say here Wali applies to Allah and Rasul and Ali bin Abi Talib alayhi salatu wassalam. But you don't want to agree? That's fine. But who gives you the right to kill somebody who believes in Ali and Waliullah? This is where we have to go back to Surah Ghafir or Surah Mu'min, that's another name of it. Surah number 40 of the Quran, ayat 28, where in the story of Musa and Fir'aun, when Fir'aun and his advisors sat down and said, what do we do with Musa? And they said, we should kill him. A member from the family of Fir'aun, وَقَالَ رَجُلٌ مُؤْمِنٌ مِنْ آلِ فِرْعَوْنَ يَكْتُمُ إِيمَانُهُ. There was a member of Fir'aun's family, probably his cousin, who was hiding his faith. He was a believer. So he was practicing taqiyya. What does he say to Fir'aun and the advisors? He says, أَقْتَقْتُلُونَ رَجُلًا أَنْ يَقُولُ رَبِّيَ اللَّهِ. Are you going to kill somebody just because he believes that Allah is his Lord? That's not a justified way, وَقَدْ جَاءَكُمْ بِالْبَيِّنَاتِ مِنْ رَبِّكُمْ. He came with proof from your Lord that what he says is the truth. And even if you don't believe in him, وَإِنْ يَكُوا كَاذِبًا فَعَلَيْهِ كَذِبُهُ. If he's liar, then the lie goes on him. وَإِنْ كَانَ صَادِقًا وَإِنْ يَكُوا صَادِقًا. If he is truthful, then the punishment that he is threatening you against will come on to you. And that is our response. If you don't believe in what we say, Aliyun Waliullah, you go your way, we go our way. There is no basis أن تقتل رجلا أن يقول ربي الله. And this is a simple message. Unfortunately, it doesn't go into the minds of these people who have been totally brainwashed with the Wahhabi ideology supported by Saudi Arabia. The whole fitna in Pakistan going on comes from them. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala guide them if they have the ability to be guided aright, or may Allah destroy them. إن أحسن الحديث كتاب الله العزيز بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والعصر إن الإنسان لفي خسر إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر.